And welcome back to the program. I'm Roby Brock. It is time now for our political roundtable. I am joined by two Talk Business and Politics contributors, our business editor, Wesley Brown, columnist and contributor, DeLoach Sabin. Thanks to both of you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get started. You heard Mike Preston earlier in the show.
Yeah.
He's talking about the Lockheed Martin, the super project. Why did Lockheed need the state's participation in this, do you think?
I think it was just one of an added part of its toolbox that it was in its application to the Pentagon. I don't think, Lockheed Martin's annual revenues is about $40 billion.
Right.
So I don't think they need $87 million. That's a small part of their, even their quarterly profits. But what they did in their application to the Pentagon, they say, hey, we can use this. We can get our production force ready. The one thing that they didn't have that the other two competitors had was that the other competitors are both vehicle manufacturers. Oshkosh is a truck maker. And then you have A&M General, who made the Humvee, which is the predecessor to this JLTV project. So the reason they needed it was to say, we're going to get our workforce ready, and we're going to be able to compete with these other two competitors.
Was the super project session a success, Jessica?
I would say so. I think it's a
96
success.
to nothing.
I mean, if you saw the votes, you would know that most people seem to be pretty satisfied on most issues.
Yeah. But I think on the super project in
Yeah.
particular, I think this was a done deal, obviously well in advance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think you would have seen the governor bring this to bring us back to the state capitol to say, okay, well, we're gonna, maybe, but it's 96-0 in the House, 31-3 in the committee and in the Senate, and it was a pretty swift process.
All right, Jessica, the big skirmish this week of the session was the change of the dates for the political primaries from the end of March to the end of May to the 1st of March. You're kind of indifferent on the change. Why?
I'm indifferent to it because I have yet to hear a good reason for or against it. And I say this as someone who has campaigned in all kinds of weather conditions. And in Arkansas, it's either going to be cold or it's going to be hot. There is no in between. And that's those sweet spots that you get twice a year in the spring and the fall. They last about 2 weeks, and no one's campaigning really at that time. So I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. But I will say that I've heard some interesting reasons for why it shouldn't have been moved. Weather aside, looking at fiscal impact, and right now hearing there is no fiscal impact.
Right.
What's more important is what ends up happening to a fiscal session later on down the road. But what we're going to do right now is just have kind of a trial run and see what everyone thinks about it this one go round, and if they like it, maybe they would keep it. Who knows?
Pilot project.
Right. Just see how it goes. I don't think it's uncommon to see a state make these kinds of changes.
Yeah.
And you know what? They don't like it.
A historical note, in the early 70s, Arkansas changed their primaries to the current structure in May when they used to be in September.
Right.
Legislators didn't like campaigning in the heat of the summer, so they changed it. So to both of you, does this moving the primary so that we're part of this SEC primary, does it help Hillary or Huckabee or both?
Well, I think the argument, of course, has been made that it's going to help Huckabee, we asked the governor the question, during his press conference, have you had any conversations with Huckabee? And he said, no, I haven't had any conversation with. And the reason why it would help Huckabee is because, in the last time he ran in the previous presidential campaign, he dropped out early. So now he may stay in a little longer, or he'll get in front of the people of Arkansas before some people say he's going to have to drop out.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Well, for Hillary, I don't think it hurts her. I think she has so much momentum behind her right now, and there's still some people who can jump into that presidential primary.
Right.
But again, Arkansas only has a small number of electoral votes to give. I don't think that these presidential candidates are going to be clamoring to get here and spending money. I think the most money we've seen spent in the state and Arkansas politics happened when Tom Cotton and Mark Pryor squared off. That was a lot of money, but I don't think we're going to see that kind of money even with this change.
The sales guys upstairs are crying over all of that, so I got to tell you. So, all right, what does the legislature turn its attention to next? Healthcare, highways, Common Core, or something else?
There's a lot of things that I think on this, on the economic development front, I think one of the things they got to turn their attention to is, we talked about it during the session, the workforce. It needs to be retooled. I mean, I think one of the issues of our workforce is that when these type of projects come, do we have the technical skills and the skills to be able to where manufacturing is going in innovation and robotics. Is our workforce ready for this? The other issue I think that'll be important, healthcare, of course. There's a task force out there that's still trying to figure out what we're going to do with the Affordable Care Act or private option in Arkansas.
Jessica?
I'm going to go with highways, and here's why. I read this story online just maybe a day or two ago about the Rockefeller Foundation coming out and saying that by 2030 or 2035, 75% of our infrastructure needs to either be, renovated or built from scratch. That's huge. Yeah. And so Arkansas is going to have to think about what are our needs and how can we do this in a smart way. We know that we have technology on our side. There's a way to do it efficiently and to do it better, and hopefully it will last longer. But what that sounds like to me is a call for another task force, a smart way to do it.
We got
had too many of the task forces.
Right.
So healthcare, highways, workforce, and I'm going to go with another as well. I mean, I think all of those, and I think audits. Watch what comes out of Legislative Audit Committee. There's going to be a lot of fireworks coming on that. All right, we got to cut it short.
Okay.
We're ready. Wes Brown, Jessica DeLoach Sabin, thank you both for being here.
Thank
Appreciate you.